Motion carries. Very good. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna move on to your owner's comments. Mr. Bob Ressler.
Pass.
Okay, thank you. Miss Seema Bracken.
Okay.
Hold on.
Some of us in section 6 have taken exception to the conclusions that have been drawn by the McMahon report. I would just like to start to remind everybody about some demographic information that was in the report that was issued by the Strategic Planning Committee. 89% of the respondents are 60 or over, 60 to 74% are 60 to 80 years of age. Only 27% live here beyond the season. 53% are seasonal, 4 to 8 months. 74% of these people are retired and probably on fixed incomes. So going into the results of the survey on page 5, the overall satisfaction. The question about how satisfied everybody was with their experience at the Glades. It was scored by universally accepted market research principles, meaning top 2 box scores, satisfied, very satisfied, bottom 2 box scored, not satisfied, very dissatisfied. 83% scored satisfied, very satisfied. For me, that's end up. But page 7, we talked about the club's future, and the question first got biased because instead of universally accepted scoring procedures, it went to 3 options of agreement, 1 neutral, 1 disagree. And there was not a question on the 4 on page 7 that said do nothing. Okay, on to page 8. This is how do you think you're going to use the services and the facilities of the club? 70% about the clubhouse, 70% of the respondents said that they would never or rarely use that the clubhouse for Valentine's Day or karaoke or whatever. According to the 19th hole, the responses were 35% never use it or rarely use it. But when you add in those people that might use it 1 to 2 times a month, it went up to 66%. So the usage results of the survey does not support a new building. On to the fitness center. On page 12, the specifics about all the different kinds of things that you could have with a fitness center, none of them were over 50% supported. None of them. Planet Fitness is going into the Bells Plaza at $15 a month membership. That saves all of us a ton of dough. On to page 11, other amenities. And we really don't agree with what McMahon said in their report. For fire pits, only 30% support. And those are the 3 things.
You're at your 3-minute limit, Mr. Bracken. Do you want to give your time to her? Thank you very much. Please continue.
Thank you. Okay, for new restrooms, only 30% support. For expanded carport, this was the best at only 38% support. So the data does not support the McMahon's report conclusion that people want these new amenities. And when we go to page 13 on how we're supposed to finance these new buildings or amenities, 61% said there was no support for new structure if it was going to cost 15 to 18 million, and 64% said no support cost 18 to 20 million. However, on page 14, it goes on to say, so how would you like to finance this 18 to 20% that you don't want? And contrary to what the McMahon report says, none of the options were generally accepted. In fact, the least repugnant option was the one that said, with 46% support, said, build the capital funds up over multiple years, delaying the project build for maybe up to 10 years. Okay, so There are other things, but I think you get the gist of what I'm saying. What I don't understand is how the board justified paying the McMahon Group $11,000 for a report that the survey said wasn't recommended, wasn't necessary. And honestly, should not spend another penny on McMahon.
Thank you, Ms. Bracken. Mr. Bracken, would you like to speak, sir?
Yes, I would. Two things. First of all, I don't have the information, but I'm gonna ask the question on the list. I've noticed that there's an annual increase in optical tel. And just quickly, a show of hands, how many people had problems with optical tel this past week? Just like, who's managing this circus? No one's managing it. Our
Is that a
annual,
rhetorical question or would you like an answer?
no, I don't want an answer. I know the answer already. I've already run down that rabbit hole, and here I am again. So the question I have is, why in the budget are we putting in increases of 6% in 22 to 23, 5% in 23 to 24? I don't know what this year is, but the actual
The increases for the optical tel, sir?
Yeah, but the actual annual increase cannot be more than 4%. So you're either padding the budget, or there's something else going on, and I'd like to understand it. So I leave that with the finance committee to come back to me and explain to me what the actuals were, so we can see what's going on between budget versus.
Just to be clear, you're speaking in reference to the optical tel.
Only optical tel.
Okay, well, that's contractual.
No, it's contractually, it's not supposed to be more than 4% in the contract. Who's written the contract?
No, that's,
Who's written the contract on the board? I have. Right, what does it say? 4%. I rest my case, so take a look at it, please, and tell me what's going on there.
we will get back to you.
Thank you, thank you. No, I'm not. Yeah, we need to look at this, but there's one other thing. I just want to bring up this strategic. We're not proceeding any further with McMahon. I raised this last March based on the results of the survey, which, by the way, I had to ask the board for. You did not distribute the executive summary. I had to ask for it. Now that we've got it, we've got a company that's manipulating numbers. Tell me that they're not based on what we see. They're manipulating the data. And I also take exception to the fact that they say people over 80 years of age. That's marginalizing people in this community. Totally unacceptable. And I am not 80. But by God, when I am 80, I will be standing up for myself if this kind of crap goes on. That's important. It's important that it's inclusive, not exclusive. So I'd appreciate it if you would report holistically on what the responses were, as opposed to this piece. And finally, if you want to do a strategy, I have years and years of experience of doing SWOTs, of doing visions, values, missions, and why in God's name, give me the 36,000 or whatever McMahon are looking for. I'd be more than happy to run with it for you. I've been a consultant, I can do it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Noel. Steve Ralphs.
I'm not sure I can top that, by the way. That was excellent, wasn't it? I'm going to slightly disagree with my friends from Section 6, because there's been a lot of people from Section 6 in there. I'm very pleased we have a plan. I'm very pleased Susan Ritter mentioned that we're looking to include everything we want to do in the next 5 years here. And it's going to be pretty ugly, because the numbers are going to come out and people are going to be shocked. But if we do it properly, we start socializing the report early. An easy way to do that, simple. You get McMahon to give us a table of contents for the plan. Show the key things they're including. Run it by the board. Get your agreement that the table of contents of that report will include these things. If you're not happy with it, that could be the end of the report. Thank you, Susan, for making sure we are going to be getting a report. Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you. That concludes the order of comments. Can I get a motion to adjourn? By Kathy Eckman. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much.